Hi there, yoga friends. Jen here. Today's practice is a full body sequence to help you get your day going. We're going to strengthen, lengthen, and create a sense of ease that you can carry through the day with you. For today's practice, all you're going to need is to wear something comfy and a yoga mat. So let's get ready and get started. So I'll invite you now just to come onto your mats into a nice comfortable cross leg. Maybe just wiggle from side to side here to get your sit bones firmly planted onto the floor. And from here with a nice tall spine, we're just going to sit for a couple of moments, hands up or down on the knees, and gently close the eyes. We'll take 2 or 3 really calm, deep yogic breaths here, allowing ourselves to completely arrive into this moment and onto our mats. You can keep your eyes closed or gently flutter the eyes open, and we take our hands forward and start to walk our palms away from us. Let's keep the sit bones here firmly planted to the floor. A sense of lengthening from the navel to the chin as we bow forward, coming into your comfortable forward fold. We'll take 2 smooth breaths here, sense of easing, relaxing into the posture with every breath out. And then really slowly, we'll walk those hands back in, come back into our tall seat. We'll take a twist to the left. So the right hand at the top of the left knee, left hand's behind you. Lift up through the spine and take your gaze here over your left shoulder. As you exhale, take the gaze back to center and come to the twist on the second side. Left hand, top of the right knee. Press down with those right fingertips behind you and gently gaze to look over your right shoulder here. Again, gently release, take the gaze forward, and from here we're simply going to change the shin that's in front. So whatever shin was behind, take it forward here. Maybe wiggle from side to side again, feel planted, and then we'll take the hands forward and start to walk the hands away from the body. Press back into the sits bones. You may want to sway the body gently from side to side here. You may just want to sink low, a sense of lengthening through the front of the body. Calmly take another breath or 2. And then really slowly start to walk those hands back in. Come into your tall seat. Left hand moves next to the left hip. Stretch the right fingertips high. And we'll take a side bend here over to the left. Sense of breathing into the right side of the rib cage, lifting up through the rib cage and stretching out to those right fingertips. Let's release that back to center. Swap sides. Press the right hand. Extend through the left fingertips. Keep that left hip firmly planted to the floor as we side bend here to the right. Draw the left shoulder back. Gaze to the ceiling if that feels comfortable for you. And then really slowly we're going to come all the way back to center and make our way into a tabletop. So we want to have the wrists and the shoulders here in line, the knees and the hips. We move right into a cat-cow. So as you inhale, let the belly be soft. Raise the tail, raise the gaze, and draw the shoulders away from your ears. And as you exhale, bring a rounding into the spine. Draw the navel back, tuck the chin. We'll take 2 more breaths like that, really listening to what your spine is saying. Marrying that movement with the breath. Last one here, and we'll return to our neutral tabletop, a sense of pressing up in between the shoulder blades and the navel center drawn back. We'll take the left toe tip behind us here, and we're going to raise the left leg and stretch out to the left toes. Now you can stay here or extend the right hand forward Turn the thumb tip up towards the ceiling, a slight external rotation through the shoulder. The gaze stays to the floor here. Take a nice, smooth, deep breath in, and as you exhale, bring the right elbow in to meet the left knee. Come into a little crunch. Inhale, extend through the body, find length. Exhale, bring it in and up to the core. Inhale, extend. Exhale, bring it to meet. And last extension here. Reach out to those fingertips. Now you can hold here, friends, or if you want to take it just a little bit deeper, bend that left knee. Sweep the right hand back and take hold of the outer left ankle. From here, press the foot into the hand. Take your gaze up and over your right shoulder. And we'll take 2 breaths here. We'll gently release the hand and the foot in opposite directions, and then lower the hand and the knee back to the floor. Let's gently glide the hips and the shoulders here now in opposite directions, just freeing up through the spine. And then we'll come back into that stillness. Again, pressing up in between the shoulder blades, draw the navel back. Take that right toe tip behind you, and I'm going to raise the right leg. Press up the back of the right thigh, extend that left hand forward, turn the left thumb tip up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, bring the left elbow and the right knee to meet in the midline, draw them up. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, in and up. Inhale, extend. Last one, bring it in and up. Bring the hand and the foot back out to extension. Stay here or bend that right foot this time. Sweep the left hand back. Take hold of the outer ankle. Press the foot into the hand and see if you can take your gaze here up and over your left shoulder. Gently release the hand and the foot here in opposite directions, finding the extension, and then lower the hand and the knee back to the mat. From here, with your toes tucked under, let's sink the hips back towards the heels, forehead towards the floor. Take a smooth breath in. And as we exhale, let's glide the body forward along the mat, keeping the torso low and moving into a cobra. So we press the tops of the feet into the floor, the pubic bone, lift up through the heart, draw the shoulders from the ears, and take a breath. And as we exhale, we're going to lower, sink back through the hips, tuck the toes under, and inch your way back into child's pose here. Take another smooth breath in. And as you exhale again, glide the body forward, forearms to the floor, and make your way into your cobra. Press the tops of the feet, the pubic bone into the floor, lift up through the heart. Take a smooth breath here. As you exhale, lower down through the torso, start to sink back through your hips, and press the palms away, hips towards the heels. Last one, take a smooth breath in. On the exhale breath, bring it forward, make your way into your cobra. Press the tops of the feet, draw the shoulders back, lift up through the heart, gaze forward. And again, let's tuck the toes, sink the hips back towards the heels, coming into child's pose one last time with the toes tucked under, the hands reaching forward, the hips drawing towards the heels. And then from here, we're going to lift up through the torso and make our way into downward facing dog. So we lift the hips up towards the ceiling. Hands stay shoulder distance and the fingers point to the front of your mat. Check in to make sure that your feet are hip distance apart here. We draw the heels towards the floor. Now you may be feeling tight in the back of the legs this morning. So we just bend the right knee, press back through that left heel. Take a breath. And as we exhale here, we're going to swap sides, press the right heel, bend the left knee. And just do that a couple more times, moving in your own time, freeing up through the back line of your body. Draw both of the heels now towards the floor. Press the palms forward, let your head drop down in between the shoulders. Draw the armpits down towards the floor. And from here, with the right heel pressing into the floor, extend your left toes behind you to come into a three-legged dog. Keep your hips level here. And then as you exhale, bring that left knee through your midline with control. Step it in between your hands. The right hand stays on the floor next to the left foot. Twist the torso, raise the left hand up towards the ceiling. We come into a twist here with the shoulders stacked. Take a breath in. Exhale, lower that left hand to the floor with your ribs connected to your thigh here. Start to straighten your left leg back. Take your gaze towards your shins. Soften through the face and the jaw. And then we'll bend that left knee. Press down through the palms. Pick up the left foot. Step back into downward facing dog. Press the hands forward, the heels back, and we'll take a smooth breath in here. Again, on your next inhalation, extend the right leg behind you this time. Hips stay level. Let the head drop down. And then we'll take that right leg here through the midline. Step it in between the hands. Left hand next to the right foot. Right knee in line with the left ankle, or the right ankle. We'll raise the right hand high. Take the gaze to the ceiling here for a breath or two. And then we'll lower that right hand to the floor. Lay the ribs onto the thigh and just start to straighten that right leg to your comfortable capacity. Draw the right hip back. The left heel is lifted. Softness through the face and the jaw. And let's go ahead and bend that right knee. Press the palms to the floor. Step back into downward facing dog. Press the palms forward, the heels back. Smooth breath in and gently out. And your next inhalation, make your way into a plank position. Now you can come to a kneeling plank if you like. Turn those inner elbows forward. We'll take a nice breath in. The navel draws back towards the spine as we lower the hips and the shoulders in a straight line to the floor. We'll lay the body down here. Press the tops of the feet into the floor. Take your elbows underneath your shoulders. And again, pressing the pubic bone into the floor. Lift up through the heart. Draw the shoulders away from the ears and take your gaze forward. Let's take 2 or 3 breaths here. Gently lifting up through the spine. Mindful to draw the shoulders away from the ears. Really slowly here, friends. Let's lower the body back down. Hands underneath the shoulders. Draw the elbows in. Tuck the toes. Come up onto your knees. And press down through the hands, lifting the hips and shoulders at the same time. And then all the way up to downward facing dog. We'll take a breath here. And then on your next inhalation, we'll step the feet to the front of the mat. And we come into a forward fold. So bend your knees. Lay your ribs here onto your thighs and let your head drop down towards the shins. You may want to hold on here to opposite elbows. Or maybe take your hands behind your back. Interlace the hands and draw the hands away from your head. Squeeze the shoulder blades slightly. And then take the hands forward past the head, bringing a stretch here into your shoulders. Take one more smooth breath here. And then we'll release the hands, sink low through the hips. Sweep the hands forward as the hips come low into the chair. Thumb tips turn up towards the ceiling. Drop those shoulders, raise the torso, but the hips stay low. Press down through the toes and the heels as you raise your hands up towards the ceiling. Stretch to the fingertips. Palms touch. Bring them down in front of the heart center as you exhale. From here, friends, we'll pick up the right foot. Draw the right knee up towards the right shoulder. Maintain your balance here. And then we're going to step back with that right foot. Our legs distance and a half. Line the heels up here with each other. We move into Virabhadrasana 2. So the left knee here in line with the left ankle. Raise your hands to shoulder height. We'll take our gaze here over the left middle finger. You want your shoulders stacked above the hips. The left knee here moving towards the left edge of your mat or the left little toe. Sense of softness here as we sink down through the hips. Take 2 more breaths. Now we'll turn the palms to the ceiling. Straighten that left leg, raise the hands high. And we're going to turn those left toes inward. So the toes are pointing towards each other. Release your hands to your hips here. Draw the shoulder blades together. Squeeze the elbows towards each other. The navel draws back. A slight arch to the spine. And then we're going to bow a third or halfway forward here. You can keep your hands on the hips. If you want, you can bring your hands out wide like an airplane or forward like Superman. Choose the variation that works best for you. The gaze stays to the floor. Now we take the hands here to the floor. We're going to walk the hands away from the body, but keep your hips here in line with your heels as you sink the heart center low. Take a breath or 2 here. Press into those outer edges of your feet. And walk the hands back in. Take your left hand here underneath your face. The right hand's going to come back to the top of the hips, mostly on the right side of the hip. We're going to press down here with the right palm, and then we're going to start to twist the torso and take our gaze up and over that right shoulder. Now the key here is to keep your hips level. So the right hip's going to want to lift because we're twisting up towards the right, but we're actively pressing the right hip down as we twist more the middle back here. If you want, you can release that right hand and stretch it high up towards the ceiling. That's optional. Take another breath or 2 here. And then let's lower that right hand to the floor. Without overthinking, the right hand underneath the face, we swap sides. Left hand checks to make sure the hips are level. Press down firmly with that left hand. Start to twist to look up and over your left shoulder. Keep the left hand where it is or extend that left hand high. Maintaining the hips square. Twist through the middle part of your back. And then we'll lower that left hand back to the floor. Draw the navel to the spine. Take your hands back to the hips. And now with a really tall spine, we're going to raise the torso with control back to stand. Let's turn the right toe tips now to the right or the back edge of the mat. We're going to sink low here into Virabhadrasana 2 on the second side. So draw that right thigh back towards the right little toe. Bring your hands here to shoulder height. And once you've got your shoulders lined up with your hips, take your gaze over your right middle finger. Press into that outer edge of the back foot. Sense of softness here through the face and the jaw as we hold this warrior. And we'll turn the palms to the ceiling. Straighten that front leg, raise the hands high, and turn those right toes in. Take the hands back down to your hips, and again, draw the shoulder blades and the elbows towards each other. Lift up through the heart, draw the navel back, and we come into a forward fold again on the second side. One of the things to look out here, friends, is to keep your feet evenly weighted, so the toes and the heels. You don't want to have all your weight dropping back to the heels. It helps energize through the legs this way. Also to keep the hips in line with the heels. And then we'll lower the hands to the floor. And this time we're just going to walk the hands away for a couple of breaths. Drop the heart center down. See if you can take your head down in between the shoulders. Strong, active inner legs. And then take your hands together here in line with the feet. And we're going to draw the crown of the head towards the floor. Now the crown of the head may touch or it may not touch. It doesn't really matter. What we are doing is squeezing the elbows towards each other. Finding length here through the back of the spine. Keeping the inner legs strong. One last breath here. We're going to draw the navel back, lift up through the heart. Take the hands here underneath the shoulders. Now as you inhale, come to the fingertips, cupcake fingers, lift up through the heart. Draw the shoulders away from the ears like the cat-cow. Exhale, gently round through the spine, tuck the chin, arching. Inhale and lift. Exhale and round. From here, take the palms back to the floor and just step your feet into the middle of the mat here. Come back into your forward fold. So again, with the thighs and the torso in contact with each other, let the head hang down. You can sweep the hands here behind the head, taking the thumb on top. That feels funny this time. Squeeze the shoulder blades, draw the hands forward. One last shoulder stretch here. And then we're going to release the hands, sink low through the hips, draw the navel back. Utkatasana, the chair. Turn the thumb tips up towards the ceiling, lift up through the sternum and smile. And again, we're going to press down evenly through the toes and the heels as we extend the hands high and then lower the hands here next to the thighs. We'll step our feet hip distance apart, a little bit wider. Turn the toes out. You want your toes in line with your kneecaps. I'm going to sink down here into Kokoska the crow. So if you have dodgy knees, maybe just coming back into a forward fold and leaving us on the floor. Otherwise, draw the navel back, extend the hands forward. We start to sink back here through the hips. We lower all the way down. You can try to keep those heels on the floor. It's okay to have the heels lifting a little bit. We'll start here just by inching the body forward in between the thighs. And then once you've got the torso in between the thighs, we'll bring the hands together in front of the prayer. Press the palms here together. The outer shoulders press against the inner thighs and they work against each other. And that sort of helps give us this stability where we can start to lengthen and lift up through the spine. We take a soft gaze forward, maybe closing the eyes if you feel comfortable. And just come back into our calm, smooth breath. You can hold this, friends, for another couple of breaths. Or if you're interested in coming into the arm balance, what I'll get you to do, just from Bakasana, I'll turn to the side here so that you can see me better. So we take our hands here from Bakasana into the floor. The hands stay shoulder distance, the fingers spread, no gaps underneath the fingers here. And we sink the torso down, lift up through the hips. Maybe shuffle the body in and take the knees here to the upper arms. We're going to start to wait for it. Now you want to take the navel past the thumb tips here and you lift one toe tip at a time. Up. Squeeze the knees towards each other. We take a couple of breaths here. And then lower the feet back to the floor. You can go ahead and pause if you want to try that a couple more times. Otherwise, let's take the body down to the seat. We'll extend the legs in front of us. So the legs in front of us, let's shuffle from right to left here, creating some space for the sit bones to be firmly planted. Take the hands either side of the mat here. We'll take a smooth breath in and raise the hands high up towards the ceiling. Now point the toes up towards the ceiling, press out through the heels. And as we exhale here, we're going to fold forward with a flat back, taking the hands to wherever they come comfortably. Now, if you're really tight through the back line of the chain here, you can bend your knees a little. You can use your hands just gripping the mat or maybe onto the heels, not holding onto the toes at all. We draw the shoulders away from the ears. Soften the gaze down to the shins. And take a couple of smooth breaths here. Remember that we are maintaining a sense of lengthening from the navel to the chin here. Another 2 or 3 breaths, allowing the body to soften. Remember to press the outer edges of the feet back. And then to release from this, we're going to extend the hands forward, draw the navel to the spine, raise the hands high, reach up through the fingertips, draw the shoulders away from the ears. And then we're going to go ahead and interlace the hands and turn the palms up towards the ceiling. Draw the shoulders back behind you to your comfortable capacity, and maybe lift the gaze up towards the ceiling. We'll release the hands down either side of the hips. Turn the fingertips to the front edge of the mat. The hands glide back just behind the hips here. And we move into Pavottanasana, and there's a couple of variations you can take. So the first variation is the stronger variation, and we just lift the hips and bring the toes here to the floor, lifting up through the heart, drawing the shoulders towards the toes, and letting the head drop back. Now if that's a bit too strong for you, you can keep your knees bent here, which is perfectly fine, making more of like a reversed tabletop. We'll take another breath or 2 here, lifting the hips high. And then we're slowly going to lower down through the legs, bend the knees, and then we're going to roll down onto our backs. Let's hug the knees here into the chest. And we'll just start by really slowly making some circles here with the knees in one direction. And then the other. We'll bring the feet back here to the floor. Left foot stays on the mat. The right foot here crosses over the left. And see if you can hook your right toes underneath the left ankle or calf muscle. If not, just pressing the right foot into the left heel is perfectly fine. And from here, we're going to take a twist. So with your shoulders firmly planted to the floor, the hands a little bit wider than the shoulders, we're going to drop our hips here over to the left. Now my right shoulder is lifting a little bit, that's okay. We can extend that right hand up towards the ceiling, making a sense of lightness here through the right shoulder joint, and then drop that right hand back behind us. If it feels okay for your neck, let's take the gaze here over to the right thumb tip. Take 2 or 3 breaths here. To release this one, I like unraveling my feet first from the side twist and just bringing the knees together. Take that right hand to support you on the right hand side, draw the navel back and bring the knees back to center. And I like doing it that way because I do have some lower back issues going on. So if you are like me and you have chronic pain in the lower back, then always releasing the twist before, or the legs from the twist there before you come back to center is much better for your back. Now again, we're going to keep the right foot on the floor this time and pick up the left. Bring it over the right leg and either hook the toes here or just press the left ankle into the right. Press down with that right foot, a slight migration of the hips over to the left as we roll over to the right with the knees. Now you want to try to get those knees to the floor, maybe even support them with a block. We'll raise that left hand here up towards the ceiling. lightness through the left shoulder joint. And then drop that left arm back. And see if you can take your gaze here up towards that left thumb tip. And take a couple of breaths here. So if you don't have any issues with your spine, just returning the knees to center. If you do, unraveling the feet first, bringing the knees to press in, draw the navel center back, bring the knees to neutral. From here, we just lay the spine flat onto the floor for a couple of breaths. Soles of the feet stay on the floor. And we're just going to move that lower spine a couple of times just to free up through the lower back. So take a breath in here and a slight arch comes in between or behind you. And as you exhale, draw that navel back to the spine and press the lower back flat to the floor. Inhale, puff out through the belly, arch through the lower back. Exhale, flatten it back down. That should feel quite nice for most of us. Let's take one more like that. From here, friends, let's hug that right knee into the chest. Extend the left leg onto the floor. Press that left calf down. Draw the shoulders away from the ears. The navel to the spine, the chin to the sternum. Half sit up here. Take a smooth breath in or two. Lower the head and shoulders. Bend the left knee. Hug the left knee in, extend the right leg long, draw that left knee up towards that left shoulder, and again, navel to the spine, chin to the sternum, half sit up. And then we'll release that left knee to the floor, draw the right knee in. We're going to take the knees wide as we bring the soles of the feet to touch here as we rest now into Supta Baddha Konasana, Blind Butterfly. You want to have a neutral sense here in the lower spine, so neither pressing or arching the spine to the mat. Gently close your eyes, bring the shoulders a little bit closer to the hips, releasing any tension through the neck, face, jaw. And from here, we'll draw the navel back, bring the knees to center, and then stretch the legs away from the head here to move into Shavasana, our final rest. Again, just gently close your eyes. Stay with me here. This is the best part of the practice. Take a moment or two here just to witness how you feel towards the end of the practice. Bring your focus back onto your breath. You can choose to stay here in Shavasana and rest for as long as you like. Or if you would prefer, just bend the knees here, or roll over to the right or the left. Support your head with your upper arm. We just rest here in the cuddle posture for a breath or two. And then really slowly pressing down with whichever hand is your top hand. And make our way back to a comfortable seat. From the seat, we take the hands to the heart and again gently close the eyes, draw the shoulders away from the ears. We'll take a smooth breath in, lengthening through the spine. Exhaling, maintaining the length. And on your next breath in, raise your hands up towards the ceiling. Stretch to your fingertips. As you exhale, bring the hands down to your crown and your brow, your throat, and your heart. And namaste. Friends, please go down to the bottom of your screen and click subscribe now if you've enjoyed today's practice. If you're looking for another firm standing practice, you can check one of the videos that are going to be up here, posted somewhere in the air later on. And I thank you very much for joining me today, for spending your time with me, and I wish you the very best on your journey.